Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation. So for today, I'll walk you through a fascinating research paper titled Geochemistry of Neogene Nansatsu Volcanic Rocks in South Kyushu, Japan. It is authored by Mizuki Ishida and colleagues in 2024. So for everyone's information, this study explores the chemical compositions and magma origins of volcanic rocks in South Kyushu. Through this, it helps us understand how plate tectonics has shaped the region's volcanic history. So throughout this presentation, I will discuss this: introduction, study area, volcano-tectonic history, Nansatsu volcanic rock stages overview, methods, major and trace element results, isotopic results, interpretation, and lastly, the summary. South Kyushu is located at the intersection of two major arcs, the Southwest Japan arc, as you can see here in this image, and the Ryukyu arc here. This region is where volcanic activity has been active since the Middle Miocene, which is about 15 million years ago. This activity is mainly due to the subduction of the Philippine Sea Plate, as you can see here. However, before this study, information about the pre-quaternary volcanic rocks was incomplete, so Ishida and colleagues aimed to close this knowledge gap through analyzing volcanic rocks from different periods in order to understand their chemistry and evolution of magma sources over time. So this study was conducted in the Nansatsu region, located at the southern tip of Satsuma Peninsula in South Kyushu, Japan. The rocks here rest on older sedimentary rocks called the Shimanto supergroup. As you can see here, this color orange, this is the Shimanto supergroup. This group are near the Middle Miocene outer zone granitoids. So the researchers collected samples from three specific sites, particularly the locality A, locality B, and locality C. Locality A represents the middle stage volcanic rocks. Locality B represents the older stage volcanic rocks, while locality C represents the oldest stage volcanic rocks. Each locality tells a different story about the region's volcanic past. And speaking of volcanic past, let's proceed to the volcano tectonic history. South Kyushu has a very dynamic volcanic history. Around 17 to 12 million years ago, magma intruded into the crust, forming the outer zone granitoids. About 12 million years ago, volcanic activity paused, possibly due to the shift in the subduction system. Volcanic activity or volcanism restarted around 7.5 million years ago, and it gradually migrated eastward. In the Quaternary period, volcanic activity diversified, producing basaltic to rhyolitic rocks. These changes were strongly linked to the movement and subduction style of the Philippine Sea Plate. So, the Nansatsu volcanic rocks are classified into four stages: the younger stage, middle stage, older stage, and oldest stage. But throughout this paper, it only focuses on the three of them. First is the oldest stage, which represents the Middle Miocene, and these are composed mostly of pyroxene andesitic lavas that are heavily altered by hydrothermal processes. These rocks were intruded by granitoids. The second one is the older stage, which comes from the late Miocene, and it includes andesitic to dacitic lavas with noticeable hydrothermal alterations. Gold deposits like Kasuga and Iwato are associated with these rocks. For the middle stage, which comes from the early Pliocene, it is dominated by hornblende andesite lavas that are somehow less altered. These rocks are linked to the Akashi gold deposits. So, these stages, or each stage, records different magmatic and tectonic conditions. And in order to ensure accurate and detailed analysis, the researchers followed meticulous methods such as sample collection from field and drilling, major elements which are measured using X-ray fluorescence or XRF after creating glass beads from powdered samples, trace elements which were measured using inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry or ICP-MS, which are highly sensitive technique. For the isotopic results, strontium and neodymium isotopes were analyzed using thermal ionization mass spectrometry or TIMS, while lead isotopes were analyzed using multi-collector ICP-MS. By combining these methods, the team achieved high-precision geochemical and isotopic results. So, major and trace element results. This diagram shows trace element chemistry of Nansatsu volcanic rocks. It is grouped into the oldest stage, which is represented by this blue square, the older stage, which is represented by this purple X, and the middle stage, which is represented by these pink triangles. These are normalized to a normal mid-ocean ridge basalt or NMORB reference. And by plotting this NMORB on a logarithmic vertical axis, we can immediately see which elements are enriched or which elements are depleted relative to a standard mantle-derived basalt. By normalizing to NMORB and comparing stages, this spider diagram clearly shows how Nansatsu magmatism evolved from a strongly slabbed influence enriched regime towards a progressively cleaner mantle wedge. So, the major and trace element analysis revealed that all Nansatsu volcanic rocks fall within the andesite to dacite range, with silica contents between 57.2% and 68.5%. They show enrichment in elements such as rubidium, barium, potassium, lead, thorium, and uranium, and depletion in niobium, tantalum, titanium, phosphorus, and strontium. These chemical patterns are typical of volcanic rocks formed in subduction zones, which reflect strong input from fluids released by the subducting slab. So the pre-quaternary rocks are less chemically diverse compared to quaternary volcanic rocks, which vary from basalt to rhyolite. The isotopic data provided are important or they provide important clues about the magma sources. The oldest stage rocks, wherein their strontium, neodymium, lead isotopic signatures are similar to the outer zone granitoids and Shimanto sediments, which suggest heavy crustal contamination during magma formation. For the older and middle stage rocks, their isotopic composition resembles those of quaternary basalts, indicating they originated mainly from the mantle wedge, which are influenced by fluids from the subducted slab. Thus, over time, the magma source shifted from crust-dominated to mantle-dominated. So, putting all the data together, the story becomes clear. During the Middle Miocene, the magmas interacted strongly with crustal materials like Shimanto sediments. And as the tectonic regime evolved and subduction conditions changed, magmatism became more mantle-driven during the late Miocene and Pliocene. Around 2 million years ago, a major tectonic shift changed South Kyushu from a compressional to a extensional setting, allowing a more diverse magmatic composition and volcanic activity. This tectonic evolution mirrors the changes in magmas we see in the rocks today. So, for this summary, early South Kyushu magmatism was heavily influenced by continental crust. The later magmatism became more mantle-derived due to changes in subduction dynamics. And these findings highlighted how tectonic processes directly control volcanic activity and magma chemistry. So all in all, this study provides valuable insight into the geochemical evolution of island arcs like this of South Kyushu. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening. So if you have further questions or clarifications about this topic, just comment it down in the chat box below.